Hey, hon. Are you having trouble sleeping? Aw. Would you like to hear a story? Yeah. I think it'll help you to fall asleep. Now let's relax you and listen and learn with your favorite Aunt Darlin. I only want the best for you. And I want to feed your brain so you can have sweet dreams. Yeah. And process your day and come back to peace. Are you ready? Yeah. Now, we have my favorite storybook for you, Gods and Heroes, that teaches us about ancient civilizations and mythologies. Well, which one shall we choose for you tonight? Would you like a surprise? I love surprises. Well, what do we have for you? How about the Greek pantheon? Would you like to learn about gods and goddesses of ancient Greece? Okay. Isn't that beautiful? Topped off by a rainbow. And there's a woman, an angel at the top with long blonde hair. I love that. Just diving right in. And another little cherub over here. Yeah, well, all sorts of characters to discover. Many you already know, I'm sure. And look in the middle. It's Zeus himself. He runs the show. Oh. And look at this unhappy woman. You know what? I think it's probably Hera, Zeus's wife. Zeus was not an easy husband to have, right? And here's some arguing. And this, my friends, is definitely Athena. You can see her owl, her trusty companion, symbolizing wisdom and strategy. And there's someone playing a lyra in the background. Someone working hard over here with his anvil. All right. So it's, and we have some lovers hidden under the cupola. That's always fun. And looky here. I'll bet that's Mercury diving in with a message. You can see with his wings on his head. Yeah. So the classical pantheon. Ancient Greece. A loose, often warring assembly of city-states had grown by 500 BC to dominate what we know as the classical world. The Greeks believed in a pantheon, or league, of gods and goddesses. 2 centuries later, the Roman Empire dominated the classical world, conquering much of Europe, Asia Minor, and northern Africa. Though names had changed, Roman culture was based on the Greek pantheon, and it lasted for almost 1,000 years. The Greeks believed the universe was born from chaos. The mighty Titans, parents of the classical gods, had taken control when the world was young and were later overthrown by their children. Oh my. What's inside? Ooh. Look at that mask, and here are those lovers. The birth of winter. Oh, that's sad. Demeter, goddess of grain and fertility, loved her daughter Persephone dearly. The trouble was, so did Lord Hades. He kidnapped young Persephone and carried her away to the underworld to marry her. Demeter's despair caused all the crops to die and sent the world into disaster. Despite a rescue attempt by fleet-footed Hermes, Persephone could not escape the underworld. Eventually, her mother and husband reached a settlement to share Persephone. While she lived with Hades, Demeter's grief brought autumn and winter to earth. Persephone could return to the upper world for the rest of the year, when the world would bloom anew. So there's winter, where Demeter is sad without her daughter Persephone. And there's the couple together, reunited in Hades. Now, ascension of the Titan sun. Look at that mask. We all know about Greek theater, don't we? What's going on here? Terrified that he might be usurped by his own offspring, the Titan Cronus swallowed each child of his wife, Rhea, brought before him. Their youngest infant, Zeus, escaped this fate and fled to a faraway island where he planned to free his older brothers and sisters. After Zeus tricked his cruel father into drinking a magic potion, Cronus belched up his 5 captive children. That's a lot. Now adults. Oh my goodness, he had a lot of room in there. Who began a battle that shook the very heavens. The Titan's reign came to a close, and victorious Zeus took his rightful place as king of the gods. Oh, yes, he did. Castle in the sky. Let's get another look over here. The gods resided in a legendary kingdom called Olympus, atop the great mountain of the same name. This was the home of the 12 primary gods. Zeus, king of the gods, who sat on the throne of Olympus. Hera, his jealous queen. She was right to be jealous, though, I think. Poseidon, the Triton-wielding lord of the ocean. Demeter, goddess of the harvest. Athena, owl-eyed goddess of wisdom. Dionysus, god of wine. Apollo, the lyre-playing god of music and prophecy. We saw him. Ah, yes. So that was Apollo back there. And I spy Dionysus drinking his cup of wine, right? Yeah. Who else do we have here? Artemis, goddess of the hunt. I know her as Diana. Ares, shield-bearing god of war and lover of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Goddess of desire and beauty. Hephaestus, the master craftsman and metalsmith to the gods. That was him with his anvil right over there. Hermes, the wing-footed messenger. Mercury and the Roman gods. Other gods besides these 12 would visit Olympus, such as Hades, the lord of the underworld. Iris, the messenger, goddess of the rainbow. Oh, that's Iris up at the top. How sweet. I love the name Iris. And Aphrodite's son, Eros, the infant god of love. Ah, perhaps he is the little cherub. How sweet. Yeah, that's Eros over there. So many little areas here. Hidden treasures to discover. Ah, lots of conflict, yes. They did like to argue, the gods, to show their power. What's this? The rise and fall of Atlantis. Thousands of years before the existence of Greek city-states, the sea god Poseidon established the advanced island metropolis of Atlantis. This fabled isle may have been somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, perhaps far west of the Rock of Gibraltar. Maybe. Here we go. These are the daughters of Zeus. The huntress Artemis, caretaker of the birds and beasts, did not take kindly to uninvited guests in her forest domain, especially when they interrupted bath time. Artemis loved her bath. One day, the hunter Actaeon stumbled across her, taking a dip in a pond. Naughty, naughty. Furious, Artemis turned him into a deer and sent his own hounds in pursuit. Oh my goodness. Wow. Vindictive, wasn't she? That Artemis. Lovely goddess Aphrodite won first place in the Olympian beauty contest, using guile instead of looks. Very clever was she. By promising the judge the most beautiful woman in the world, the already married Helen of Troy. We all know that story, don't we? Aphrodite mistakenly set up the legendary Trojan War. But Aphrodite, too, could be a victim of love. The dashing god of war, Ares, was impossible for her to resist, despite her arranged marriage to ugly Hephaestus. Oh my goodness, the poor thing. On the day of her birth, Athena squeezed her beautifully full adult form out through a crack in Zeus's skull. Remember, he had a really bad headache. Athena did not accept defeat well. After losing a contest to the talented weaver Arachne, she angrily tore up her opponent's tapestry and transformed the poor girl into a spider, known to this day as an arachnid. Well, they were fairly evil, those gods and goddesses, were they not? Yes, they were, my darlings. So be good to your children, or well, they may come back and overturn your empire, just like Kronos, the god of time. Well, time was against him, it turned out. And now I think it's time for you to go to bed, my sweetheart. Are you getting sleepy with all these stories, all this adventure? Has it made you tired? All of this intrigue? Well, let's make things simpler for you, darling. Just go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. And carry with you my love for you. Sweet dreams.